birthday spot. And now it's about in the 8th month of us, talking and stuff. And then we start to actually officially date within the 7th month of us meeting, after us meeting. And I stayed the night. There was no sexual anything. Like, it really wasn't. He was a gentleman. But I noticed that there was a female walking around his car. Because I got up early in the morning, and I always just naturally just look out my window when I get up. And so this lady was just walking around, lurking around his vehicle. And at first, I had to make sure she was actually just walking around his vehicle, because there's other vehicles in the parking lot. And she was just circling around his vehicle. So I woke him up because he was still asleep. And I told him, I said, it's a lady walking around your car. There's, do you know her and stuff? And he had a roommate that was there. And the roommate, because he got up and he looked, and then the roommate looked and stuff, and the roommate immediately started laughing. I said, uh-oh, you in trouble now. So I'm just trying to figure out what in the hell was going on with this situation. Came to find out that this lady was his wife. He was still legally married, and I didn't know that he was still legally married, because he didn't tell me that he lied. He told me that he was divorced. So that was my warning sign number 2, and I should have just left. But no, my stupid ass gonna stay there, give him benefit of the doubt, because she's not there or whatever. And the cops was called. She called the cops, and the cops knew that she didn't have anything there. It was just she was trying to see who I am, because she heard that he had another female, that he had moved on. He was with somebody else, so she wanted to see who it was. And I don't know if a neighbor called her or somebody alerted her, and she came over. And so it was just crazy. And they had these cats, and he was crazy about the cat, she's crazy about the cats, and she would constantly use the cat as a way to try to get him to come and check on her. He got her a hotel and stuff, so she wouldn't be just stranded out and stuff like that. And it was just really, it was crazy. That was my warning sign number 2, and I stayed around. My warning sign number 3 was that he was still flirting with females online. And I'm not talking about just a little bit of flirting. I'm talking about sending videos of his business, as Judge Lynn Tyler like to say, situation, sending videos of his situation to other women and stuff like that, showing himself jacking off. And that was number 3. And now that warning sign, I was like, that's it. I left. I was like, take me home. That's it. And he didn't want to let me leave, and he wouldn't let me leave and stuff. And he immediately, at that moment, he cut everything off, because in between these situations, these warning signs, every time I did walk off, but I did stay. I should have just stayed gone, because we ended up getting together, and things started happening later on, like 2 years into the relationship, stuff started happening. The infidelity happened in less than 2 years. The first infidelity, physical sexual infidelity, happened within less than 2 years. And then he continued after that. Another year went by, and then some other things started happening. So I had these warning signs up front, and I didn't pay attention to these warning signs. Another very crucial warning sign is that him and his ex, they used to have relations with other couples. They were like swingers. That was another red flag, because any man, to me, that's just me, to each his or her own. There's no judgment here. But I'm saying, for me, I may not be comfortable watching my significant other or my husband have sex with another female. I'm sorry, I'm not into all of that. I don't mind being kinky, but that to me, I just feel is disrespectful and very greedy, because it's just like, why would you even want to have sexual intercourse with someone else? People are like, oh, that's just to keep the relationship alive, to keep it spicy. If you have to step outside of your relationship to keep your relationship spicy, to me, that's just a lack of creativity. Not only is it just a lack of creativity, but it's also greediness. It's also that, you really, in essence, just want to go out there and have your cake and eat it too. So the reason why I say that was the red flag, because this person, he was actually, used to having relations with other females while being married, and being in a committed relationship with someone. So for him, it's not something that he feels immoral about, or feel like it's something that he did wrong. But to me, I feel like it's so grossly disrespectful, especially when you're sneaking around, because the thing is, even though this person knew that it was wrong, their moral compass still could not allow them to, their moral compass wouldn't allow them to have the respect for me as a person, as a relation in our relationship, and as as that person's mates and significant other, to stop. And the individual continued on. And I mean, it was a lot of other stuff in between. I'm not going to get into too specific details, but I just put it to you this way. It was really nasty. It was just very degrading. It was very disrespectful. It was very hurtful. It was just like treating me like, I put it to you this way, and I told him this. I said, I would have rather you physically abuse me than abuse me the way you did emotionally and psychologically, because when you abuse someone to that level, it takes it does something much different. But I didn't want my life to stop because of this individual. This is what this person has chosen to do. This is something this person made a conscious choice and decision to do. So, me can't excuse it. But for the longest time, I was trying to excuse it. I was trying to justify it. I was trying to rationalize it, because I didn't want to have to start over in another relationship. I didn't want to have to get to know somebody over again, and but more importantly, I really just love this person wholeheartedly. And I was, I'm the type, I'm with you all the way, very committed, very devoted to the relationship, very committed, to us. And so I was making sure that I did every single thing possible, so the person could never say that I didn't try to do everything possible to make the relationship work. I mean, it did, but you can't make somebody love you. You can't make somebody treat you right, and you can't make somebody appreciate you or anything. So, knowing that, I may have to not hold myself accountable for that, because I felt really like that's a very disrespectful and degrading feeling, to have someone that you love and care for, and you done been with this person for now several years, and just for the relationship to fall, through the cracks and stuff, and not succeed because of one of the parties in the relationship choosing not to do you right and choosing to be inappropriate and disrespectful to you. So that was a real hard situation for me to go through. I really was depressed about it. I felt really, I just felt like I was nothing, because it's like the person just threw us away. And I had explained it, you're not just throwing us away, you're throwing away our friendship, you're throwing away our family, you're throwing away so much. It's like so much stuff that goes behind that you're willing to sacrifice and willing to throw away and give up on, so that you can kids go out here and have all these relations with these multiple women. And that means you don't even value yourself, because if you value yourself, you wouldn't want to just spread yourself out like that to any and every female. Even if you can, you still wouldn't do it if you was mature. Mature people don't do stuff like that. Mature people have enough self-control and resistance to not do it. There's been plenty of times I wanted to just go out there and just be the whole, just hoe it up. The hormones get to kick in sometimes, and you just be wanting to hoe it up. And when I was younger, I went through that phase, but I'm not like my age now, honey. I'm not trying to be no 46-year-old hoe. Hell no. I mean, you got to grow up and mature. And so it was just like, it's like I just felt like I wasted time that I could have been using somebody else. I could have been married, I could have had the marriage that I wanted, and the husband, and the life that I wanted, had me not ignore those warning signs that I saw with this individual. And I should have just let the person completely go that first time. I should have been like, forget it, because it wasn't like this is something. The person was there. The person he was cheating on me was coming over. She was coming over. I mean, he had her there and everything. And I'm like, why would you do that when I have access to your home? Like, I had a key, so I was able to get in and stuff, had access. So why would you bring another female there and stuff? And I guess he kept making excuses. And I was like, why is he trying to prevent me from coming over there? Especially when you spend when you and your significant other is always spending a lot of time together, and all of a sudden one of them just all of a sudden start making excuses why you all can't spend time together anymore and stuff. That's just a 100% red flag. We're going to already know that you're doing something you got to be just doing. So that was a dead giveaway, is the fact that this individual kept trying to find reasons for me to not come over. And after we've been together all this time, and we've come over, we always been, spent time together and stuff. And now all of a sudden you distancing yourself. So I went over, and she was there. And I went inside, and I'm just like, what the hell? And, he trying to play it off and stuff. And came to find out he lied to her. So I was an ex-girlfriend that was stalking him. The other one that he told her the same thing. He told the other one that. He told the other one that, and it wasn't that, because he was misleading me. Neither one of the women was married, or had a boyfriend, a man, or whatever that she was living with, and she would be creeping over and messing around with him. And I'm like, you're so stupid, because you endangering not just your life, you endangering my life too, because her man may find out and come over here and won't care, just be in a fit of rage and have a gun and kill all of us. So you putting everybody's lives in danger. And then you don't know, you got these psycho chicks, they might burn your house up. We might be in the bed sleeping, and they decide to set the house on fire, and we literally get burnt alive, So it's just like stuff he wasn't thinking about. This person wasn't thinking about all of these consequences and stuff, and the hurt that they were causing on a person. But I had these warning signs, and they were like so vivid and so clear, and I just ignored them because I just wanted to be. I really wanted to be in a relationship at that time, and I felt like at that stage of my life I needed to settle down, and I needed to be in a relationship, because I had been celibate and single for so long prior to meeting him that I was just like, okay, let me give him a chance. And that was another reason I was reluctant to even date, because I had been to myself for so long, and the last thing I wanted to do is break my celibacy and then get in a relationship, a dead-end relationship, even though that wasn't my mindset when I met him, as far as like I wasn't pondering it or thinking it. It wasn't in my subconscious or anything. But I'm just saying that was one of the reasons it took me so long to date someone.